I am so excited to be here. The last time I had this much excitement, I was swimming in a swimming pool. Some random person said, "You want to get wet?" And I did. I'm Sir Jerry, and it is a sunny day here close to the water of Lake Ontario. Just, is it south? Yes, south of Lakeshore Boulevard. Close to the water. I'm glad the midges are gone because they're, frankly, I don't know why they exist. Anyways, I've taken too much time, and I think everyone wants to hear from Toronto Mike.
What up, Mike? Toronto. VK on the beat.
I'm speechless, Sir Jerry.
That's not good.
Take over. Welcome to episode 1901. 1901. Was that the year of your birth, Sir Jerry?
I'm ageless, Mike. Ageless.
Episode in 1901 of Toronto Mic'd, an award-winning podcast, proudly brought to you by Great Lakes Brewery. Order online at greatlakesbeer.com for free local home delivery in the GTA. Palma Pasta. Enjoy the taste of fresh, homemade Italian pasta and entrees from Palma Pasta in Mississauga and Oakville. Visit palmapasta.com for more. Toronto Maple Leafs baseball. Catch a game at Christie Pitts this summer. No ticket required. Fusion Corp's own Nick Iones. He's the host of Building Toronto Skyline. And Mike and Nick, two podcasts that you ought to listen to. RecycleMyElectronics.ca. Committing to our planet's future means properly recycling our electronics of the past. And Ridley Funeral Home. Pillars of the community since 1921. Joining me today, making his Toronto Mic'd debut, kinda sorta, it's Sir Jerry.
Oh, I have this condition. I don't know.
So let me tell the listenership, this gentleman to my left, Sir Jerry, you are well-dressed. The last time somebody was that well-dressed in the basement studio here, he was a funeral director at Ridley Funeral Home. You look good.
Well, thank you. I try to look well, but, I'm a little battered,
A little battered, but you look great. And you got a, I'm going to just paint a picture for those who are listening. You got I don't know what to call it. That's a suit?
Well, I wouldn't call it a suit, but it's a very formal, long jacket, the kind of thing they would wear in the Victorian era.
Okay. And you have a bow tie on?
Yes. Not a clip-on. But
it's a real deal.
It's a real deal.
Prove it, Sir Jerry. No.
Fine. I didn't know it was that kind of a broadcast.
And what is this? Is this I should know what this is. A bootleer? What's that thing called?
It's called a flower. A flower. Flower. You've been in the basement too long.
But does it have a formal term when you put a flower on your lapel or whatever?
That's the kind of question you should ask
the
funeral home. I think you're right. A boutonniere. I think
I was going there. Boutonniere.
Yes,
okay, thank you for that.
Yes.
And you got a top hat on.
Yes, it's actually quite a vintage top hat.
Okay.
If you take a look at it.
Well, I want to just shout out Jeremy Hopkin because he often wears a vintage top hat as well when he visits the basement. I love that it's the real deal. It's not some faux thing you bought at a Halloween store. Or something.
I just want to comment that because it is a hot day, I've been sweating a little bit and you touched it. You may have come down with the hantavirus.
Have you been on any cruise ships lately, Sir Jerry?
No,
Do you work the cruise ship circuit?
I have been on a boat.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll get more info. So I want to I know it's weird here, but I did have on somebody who looks a bit like you, but is not you. So there's a gentleman named Jerry Levitan. Do you know him?
Oh, my goodness, I do. He's a very lovable fellow, a bit of a blowhard and self-promoter.
I thought so, too.
Yes, but I do know him, and yes, he actually gave me your name.
He connected us.
Yes, he connected us.
But this is the first time I spoke directly with Sir Jerry.
Mm-hmm.
It's an honor, and I have questions, but I don't want to be crass to promote a live event that's coming up. But there is a pretty exciting live event at noon at the Drake Hotel on June 15th. Are you aware of what's happening at the Drake Hotel on June 15th?
Not on the 15th, but on the 14th. I am aware of it.
Are you serious? Oh,
Yes.
you're right. Okay.
Yeah, sure. I'm putting on a children's show on Monday. No. It's Sunday, June 14, noon.
I blew that one. Okay. We'll fix it in post. So why don't you tell us off the top? We'll get to know you, Sir Jerry, and then maybe we'll chat maybe about your buddy, Jerry Levitan, as well.
Sure.
But just tell everybody exactly what's happening Sunday, June 14th, 2026 at noon at the Drake Hotel.
Happy to oblige you, Toronto Mike.
Slip me a few 20s for that. Even though I blew the date. I've probably been given the wrong date for my event as well.
Do you take Sri Lankan currency?
Yes.
Excellent. All right. Now, so I have been doing live shows, mostly at the Drake Hotel in Toronto, but all over the province, actually, for many, many years. And the last show I did was before the pandemic.
Wow.
And my trusted manservant, Melman, indicated at last week's rehearsal that it's been 7 years since the last live show. I did some internet things during the pandemic, but aside from that, I haven't had the band together. So I just raised the proposition of doing another show because I know there's a void in today's very difficult world, a void for me. So there could be a void for you, but so got the band together, excited. There's actually a new person on it. So it's me, my trusted manservant Melman, my beloved Uncle Alfie, Laura the Spider Girl, Super M, she's the new person, and Ruben, the musical, mystical, magical genius, who used to many years ago be in a very popular Toronto band called Glue Leg. In any event,
I know Glue Leg. They've been in the basement.
Have they?
Yeah.
No kidding me.
I wouldn't lie to you. I don't want to ruin your flow there, Sir Jerry, but I am very quickly Googling Glue Leg Toronto Mike to tell you there's many members of Glue Leg. The two gentlemen that were in the basement, Carlos Alonso and Christian Simpson. So they're a couple of founding members that we talked to. Yeah.
Ruben Huizenga was basically the guy.
Right. Okay. Well, then how do you do I needed to get that guy on Toronto Mike.
For sure. He'd be happy to come
another
back.
Glue Leg episode.
He has a new band called Star Beast, which is gaining a lot of traction. He has 2 albums, and the latest one is great.
Okay, well, I trust everything you say, Sir Jerry. Okay, you wouldn't lie to me. So people need to buy tickets. Like, can you buy tickets in advance, or is it cash only at the door?
No, it's cash only, and I believe they have an ATM. An ATM.
What does that stand for, Sir Jerry?
I don't. Automated Toronto Mike.
Oh, I like this. Okay, well, I'm not paying for this. Okay,
and right outside the door. And the only reason it's cash only is I'm not going to get to the trouble of doing ticket sales on the internet. I'm an old school sort of person. So the band, let me tell you what the band is.
Yeah.
It's all my original compositions. One of them is Ruben Huizenga, Ruben the musical, mystical, magical genius. But it's my original compositions, which these songs are from 4 albums that I produced with Ruben, and they're on Spotify and all those other places. We do live songs, a lot of comedy, to get people laughing as opposed to crying. There is some crying from some parents.
Well, it's a fine line.
It's a fine line. Yes, it is. We have 4 dancers trained from some of them from the National Ballet of Canada. So it's an hour and a half of fun music, dancing. The kids always get up and dance and play around, and the parents, are amazed at the entertainment.
And it's a nice get to go to Queen Street, very cool part of the city, hang out. Sounds like a great afternoon. $10 a person, $20 for a family.
Yes.
What if your family is 30 people? Still $20?
Hey, that's the risk, It's the risk you take in this global economy.
Yeah, there's some big families out there. Okay, the return of... So that's exciting. So that's big news off the top here. I got questions for you, Sir Jerry. But the return of Sir Jerry, it's been several years since you did a live show. That means I met you... Since I met you, you haven't done a live show until June 14, not June 15th. If you go to the drink on June 15 for Sir Jerry, you will be very disappointed. He won't be. Maybe you'll be there. I don't know.
Well,
What are
have
you
them
doing June 15?
contact me if you're there, and I'll come over.
Right. I'll broker that deal. Okay, so that's exciting that you're making your triumphant return. Good cast of characters there. Is there a gorilla in the band?
Yes, the drummer is Dr. Gorilla. In fact, one of my songs is the Legend of Dr. Gorilla. I think that's what I called it.
Okay. And I couldn't help but notice that your Toronto Mic'd debut, Sir Jerry, because you, Sir Jerry, have never been on Toronto Mic before. I noticed it was 2:30, and every time I have anything at 2:30, I think of a dad joke about a dentist, and I'm just going to play a little bit of...
I am the dentist, I drill in your teeth. That's because you eat too many sweets.
I do.
I went to dental school, they taught me these things. I am the dentist. I am the dentist. I am your principal, I make all these rules. That's because you are enrolled in my school. The punishments I give, they make me so glad. I am your principal. I am your principal. No one wants to play with me.
It's a little frightening, Sir Jerry. Would can a 4-year-old enjoy Sir Jerry?
Yes, absolutely. I actually market it as ages 1 to 100. They can. A 4-year-old might be a little spooked by that song, but because we have dancers in tutus,
Right.
And this whole comedy scene, no one really gets freaked out.
Also, I failed to mention you have a cane. Is that you won't disclose your age? Is this simply that you're of an age where you need some help walking so you don't fall?
Well, I'm a world traveler. Many of my songs are about my exploits. And as you can see, this cane is quite beaten up. It helps me, but, it's more for just the look,
It looks cool.
Thank you.
You're like the penguin or something.
Oh, now
that's an umbrella.
Now you've painted me as a DC villain.
Now, so many places I want to go. My goodness gracious. So you won't disclose your age, is that correct?
That is correct. I'm timeless.
You're timeless. But you're clearly from England, right? Like you have an English accent.
Yes. I spent a lot of time in England. I don't really know what country I was born in.
Okay, so you don't know when you were born or where? Is this the deal?
Correct. And because I've traveled the world, I found Melman in the Himalayas. And ever since he was a child, ever since then, he's been my trusted manservant.
So what do you know, about your origin story? You must have some information about where the hell you came from.
Well, in Poopy Doopy Land, where the queen of the Poopy Doodies, Queen Poopy Doopy.
Easy for you to say.
I have actually a song about that. That is why I'm a sir. She knighted me as a sir. And I spent time there. I think I came out of a dream, is actually what I believe. Because if you ask yourself the question, who are we? Where do we come from?
Right.
What is this life?
Right.
What is the universe is expanding? It's expanding. So what the hell are we doing? Oh, I said a naughty word. What the hell are we doing here in South Etobicoke if the universe is expanding?
Right. Do you have an answer for that, or these are the great questions of the universe?
I have no answers, but
Okay.
I pose the questions.
Okay, so you don't. There's no so you don't know when or where you were born. Now, I feel like So you mentioned you've been all around the world, but do you travel through time?
Well, that's
I'm giving you a tricky question.
No. It's a good question. It's an existential question.
I don't understand Sir Jerry here.
You know, I asked the late Carl Sagan that question, you know, and his answer was time is not a random, isolated thing. There's the space-time continuum. Right. You know, so I can't pinpoint a time. Do I travel in time? Well, there have been times I've been speaking to certain people or in certain groups where I wish I had gone back in time. But, you know, that's another concept.
That's another concept here. Because I played a song called I Am the Dentist just moments ago. Now, so how many albums have you released, Sir Jerry?
Actually, I have to be truthful now. I created a time machine.
With my infinite knowledge of human history and Ruben's mastery of basic household tasks, we have created this time machine. Melman and I will demonstrate. I will sit here in the captain's chair. You, Melman, sit next to me.
Sir Jerry, all these wires and switches are making me nervous.
Oh, there's nothing to be worried about, Melman, as long as you don't press the big red button.
You mean this one?
Great Hannibal's hanky!
What, Sir Jerry? What's wrong?
What's wrong? We're going back in time!
What are we gonna do, Sir Jerry? What are we gonna do?
Well, as I see it, you bumbling ninny, we could either panic...
Oh, I'm panicking!
...or we can enjoy the trip. I, for one, would rather enjoy the trip. You see, on your left side, the Great Wall of China is actually being built as we speak. Or on the right side, there's Albert Einstein writing E equals MC squared on his blackboard.
Well, that certainly is educational.
Bingo. Now hear that roar? Smell that smell? Dinosaurs roaming the earth.
Yikes!
Well, if I pull this lever, we could see what the future holds.
Look, cities built on clouds.
Ah, so pretty. Everyone is getting along in the future. I don't see any sign of global warming here.
Sir Jerry, do you know when ice cream cones were invented?
Yes, 1904, the St. Louis World's Fair. 1508, Michelangelo begins painting the Sistine Chapel. 1808, Beethoven's Fifth completed. 1968, William Shatner completes recording of his masterpiece, The Transformed Man. February 11, 1990, Nelson Mandela freed. July 22nd, 1954, Sir Jerry is born.
Whoa!
Okay, that's the truth. I was born on July 22nd, 1954. Yeah. Although I forgot about it until I reheard the song. You know, that's what happens when you get older.
I don't think Sir Jerry was prepared for the investigative work I would do, the research that Toronto Mike does. I am the Brian Linehan of podcasters.
Well, you know, this is like 60 Minutes when it used to be a provocative show.
Yeah, like that was 6 months ago, I think. But the I gotta say, I've caught you in a couple of fibs here. Like, I gotta know I can trust you. Like, I can't have a guest in here spewing nonsense. So we now know when you were born. Okay?
Have you heard of the word hyperbole? Okay. Hyperbole.
I get, roll with it, Mike. Come on. Okay, so exciting times for Sir Jerry. I'm glad you're here this week because this is the only week of the calendar year when Toronto tree is in full bloom. I get precisely 1 week a year where that tree, which Professor Pricklethorne, by the way, I would love to introduce you to Professor Pricklethorne. Have you ever met him?
No, but it sounds like he'd be good in my band.
He wears a Lego bow tie. He's got, I don't know, what's going on under your top hat, but Professor Pricklethorne's got some crazy, the guy, who would I compare him to? Back to the Future, the professor. Is he a professor? I can't remember. Doc
yes,
Brown. He's a doc, right?
Do you know who Professor Irwin Corey was?
Oh, this name sounds familiar.
Oh my God! You have to check him out on YouTube, Professor Irwin Corey. He had that kind of
thing. So maybe that's where Professor Pricklethorne borrowed the concept. But Professor Pricklethorne's also an arborist. He worked on Toronto Island for 25 years. And he tells me Toronto tree is at end of life. These trees we get on these boulevards, they don't last that long. This tree apparently end of life. But I'm here to report, again, when you look at the photo I took with Sir Jerry for this episode of Toronto Mike, his debut, you'll see beautiful full bloom flowers on the Toronto tree.
Wow.
So how do you feel about that, Sir Jerry?
I feel so light on my feet. Might be because I'm sitting down, but I feel that is actually quite spiritual and mystic.
Thank you. Okay. And the only other guest I think who's going to get in on the full bloom action is Stu Stone. Have you ever heard of Stu Stone?
Is he a musician?
He does everything. So he is a rapper. He raps with Jamie Kennedy. They had a series called Blowing Up, and they had some pretty big jams from that MTV era.
Mm-hmm.
So I think now I'm going to broker a meeting between you, Professor Pricklethorne, and Stu Stone. I think that's the trifecta for the next event. Okay.
The trifecta.
The trifecta here. Okay, so you mentioned you were friends with Jerry Levitan, and Jerry did tell me about you, and he sent me some songs. So please tell me, I'm going to play the song, and tell me if I've got the right theme here.
Hello, my name is Sir
That
Jerry.
is my theme.
Should have played it at the beginning, Sir Jerry.
Welcome to my world.
And this is how our show starts.
So if I make my way to Queen Street West on Sunday, June 14 at noon, things will get underway with this Sir Jerry theme.
That's right. And the 4 dancers will be dancing to this. They bring me out, and I introduce myself or inject myself into the audience.
Wow. What craziness. Okay. And I got questions, but I don't know if the answers will be consistent. So maybe I should just ask you for some advice here. Okay. So you've had, prior to the pandemic, you had many live events where you would entertain families.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Here's a true story. It is actually true. A number of years ago, I got a call from the mayor. I'm trying to think of
Art Eggleton.
No. I knew that. Well, Jerry Levitan knew that fellow.
Right.
But what was the name of that? Aurelia. And the mayor of Aurelia and their council decided to have a Beatle Fest to attract tourism.
Sure.
And this many years ago. And I got a call from the mayor who said he heard my music and he understood that my good friend Jerry Levitan had spent time with John Lennon of the Beatles, and it would be a good idea if I came with my band to perform. And to which I said, for sure. And he asked me to play a Beatles song or two, which I agreed to do.
Wow.
Because I'm familiar with the Beatles. So we went there, and I forget the name of the venue, but it was their historic sort of musical theater place in Aurelia, an old building. They canceled school early in Aurelia and the surrounding area for the show and bussed kids in to this theater. This is the truth. This is the truth. And it was a great show. So anyways, we did a show there. We played all over Ontario. Not at Fort Francis, I don't think, but mostly in Toronto.
Which Beatles songs did Sir Jerry perform?
The one I definitely remember performing was "Hey Bulldog," which was one of the more obscure Beatles songs. I was going to
say, I don't own all the Beatles albums, sadly, and I don't think I know that song.
It was a song recorded for the Yellow Submarine album, and like I said, it's one of the obscure Beatles. I thought
it was a parody of "Hey Jude," "Hey Bulldog."
That's a good point. I think it actually was recorded before Sgt. Pepper, and "Hey Jude" is actually the White Album vintage.
Okay. Do you remember the other song or no?
It may have been "All Together Now," which also was a Yellow Submarine song. It's possible we only did "Hey Bulldog." I can't remember, but it was mostly my songs.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you. I was going to ask your friend Jerry Levitan about this, but I have Sir Jerry here now, and I'm going to ask you about this. I was listening to a podcast that was discussing the Beatles cartoon show. Did you ever watch the Beatles cartoon show?
Yes.
Okay. What do you remember about the Beatles cartoon show?
Well, here's the point. You know, now that you know my birth date and you can calculate my age, when I became enthralled with the Beatles, the early ages of 13, 14, 15, new Beatles songs would be coming out, right? So you would go from, for example, Rubber Soul to Revolver to Magical Mystery Tour to Sgt. Pepper and the White Album. You couldn't wait to hear a new Beatles song. And it was quite obvious to kids my age at the time that things like the Beatle cartoon show were just a joke. Right, you know,
right.
They weren't as good as Rocket Robin Hood or anything like that. And I don't even think I really watched much of it, because why would you do that if you could listen to Sgt. Pepper or something like that? But I think it was more designed for the younger siblings of those who were into the Beatles.
So they made 39 episodes over 3 seasons. And I guess it was Sunday at 10:30 a.m., I think. But in the 3rd season, they moved it to noon for some reason. And the music, so the music you'd hear in this show was actually the Beatles, but the voices of the Beatles were...
They were terrible. They were terrible imitators. It was like Ringo was, oh, I can't find the drums, no. You know, it was that kind of thing.
So apparently there's a U.S. actor named Paul Frees. Do you know his name? Paul Frees.
That rings a bell.
He was the voice of John Lennon, your friend's friend. I guess you're a friend of yes. John Lennon. But he also voiced George Harrison and Brian Epstein. Like all 3 voices were this American named Paul Frees.
Right.
And there was a chap named Lance Percival. Percival, yeah. And he voiced Paul McCartney and Ringo Starr. So all 5 of those voices we're talking about were just 2 guys.
Wow.
There you go.
Well, it makes sense because they were terrible.
That's it. Well, even the Beatles, like the Beatles were not fans of the show, but apparently, according to Wikipedia, band members enjoyed the cartoon in later years. So, I mean, there were only 3 years, so maybe they got better in the 3rd season. I don't know.
I think I recall an interview with John Lennon when, after he had Sean as his child, they would watch it, you know, and when Sean was very, very young. But, I mean, it was part of the whole merchandising that had very little to do with the Beatles. You could buy sheets and pillowcases with the Beatles.
Right, they just licensed the band to make some cash.
There you go.
There you go. Now, I want to give you some gifts because I'm afraid later in this chat, your buddy might drop by. He's a neighbor, lives nearby. Okay, he might drop by, and we might talk. But I'm going to give you some gifts, Sir Jerry, while you're here, and then I'm going to ask you for some advice because I know you're back at it. I gotta get the date right since I screwed it up. You're back at it. I actually took your image here. I'm looking at your image. I can't screw it up. You're back at it June 14th at the Drake Hotel, and I hope it's a full room. I make my debut in precisely 2 days. Okay, so I'm going to ask you for some advice. But first, I'm going to ask you, Sir Jerry. I know you're timeless, and I mean, you know, we found out your birth year, so let's get these stories straight. But have you, Sir Jerry, ever been to Christie Pitts here in Toronto?
Yes, I have, but it was so long ago, and I think I was there at the invitation of a young girl. I was a teenager at the time.
Okay, you probably heard you were friends of a guy who knew John Lennon. I feel like that would get you some chicks.
Yeah, I was in the bushes watching.
Okay, well, the Bushmen are there now. I was at Christie Pitts on Sunday.
Yes.
For my 2nd Toronto Maple Leafs game of the year, and the weather was spectacular, as you know, Sir Jerry, spectacular today. But Sunday was great, and I got to say, I don't think I've ever seen that many people at Christie Pitts for a Toronto Maple Leafs baseball game, and I've been to a bunch. This was the biggest crowd I ever saw. What a turnout. I'm giving you, Sir Jerry, a book on the history of Toronto Maple Leafs baseball, and I'm going to try to get you out to Christie Pitts for a Leafs game.
I'll do it. Wow, that is... First of all, the fact that you're giving me a gift is just incredible, because who gives gifts these days?
I do.
Really?
I'm not even done, okay? By the way, I feel like I could sell the Game Ops The Game Ops people. I'll be noodling that one all day. The Game Ops people at Chrissy Piss, I could sell them. I feel like I could sell them on like a Sir Jerry day. Sir Jerry throws out the pitch. Maybe Sir Jerry sings a song for everybody. I don't know. I could work on that.
Make sure you pronounce it correctly, because sometimes people might think you're saying surgery.
Oh, yes.
Hey, I'd like to introduce you to surgery.
Yeah, good point. See, that's a good tip. That's what I'm going to be looking for in a minute.
But I want to say about the Elmo combo and your
well, do you want me to give you some more gifts and then get back to the Elmo?
Yes, because I know something about it.
Okay, I do want to talk about the Elmo with you. That's really why you're here, okay? So very quickly, a few more gifts. I have in my freezer upstairs, Sir Jerry, a large lasagna for you to take home. Do you eat Italian food?
Oh, yes. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my lasagna.
You do like that, okay.
I'm beside myself.
Okay, but if you're going to eat Italian food and you're not going to make it from scratch, like Nona would do, you're going to get it at Palma Pasta. I just want to make sure people know. PalmaPasta.com. They sent over this lasagna for Sir Jerry. Also, a South Etobicoke institution known as Great Lakes Brewery. Easy for me to say, brewery. They sent over some fresh craft beer for you, Sir Jerry.
Oh, my goodness. I have to say, unlike other children entertainers, I do drink beer.
Oh. Glad to hear it.
Yes.
Because Raffi never drinks.
No. And Sir Jerry is not like those other entertainers, like brush your teeth. No, it's not like that. But this is wonderful. And one of them is suspended. The maple.
It's a shorter cup. But that was actually, that's Professor. Oh, yes. Okay. So you got the Great Lakes, the premium lager. You got an IPA called Burst. And then my favorite, Sunnyside Session IPA. And I threw in a special non-GLB beverage for you that came courtesy of the aforementioned Professor Pricklethorne. Wow. So so you've got yourself some fresh beer from Great Lakes. I also have a measuring tape for you, Sir Jerry, from Ridley Funeral Home.
This will come in handy.
You might come in handy if Brad Jones is unavailable and they need somebody to wear the hat and the suit to welcome people who are grieving a loved one. I think you do a great job at that.
Well, I was thinking more, given now that you know my birth date, that may be a measurement of me. But as I said, one way or the other, I enjoy it.
Okay, enjoy that. And thank you to Ridley Funeral Home. They have a great podcast called Life's Undertaking. Also, Nick Iones has a great podcast called Building Toronto Skyline, and he's got another one called Mike and Nick. And I want to thank him for supporting the show. And I want to thank recyclemyelectronics.ca, because, Sir Jerry, if you have I can't imagine you having old electronics, old phones, old devices, because you're sort of a old-fashioned kind of guy. But if maybe your buddy Jerry Levitan does, I'm going to urge him to go to recyclemyelectronics.ca, stick in his South Etobicoke postal code, and find out where he could drop that off to be properly recycled.
That sounds good to me.
Sounds good to you? Okay, so now I've given you the gifts. Let's talk about the Elmo for a moment, because I'm speaking to you on Tuesday, May 19th. And on Thursday, May 21st, see, I got this date right. Thursday, May 21, 2026, literally, Sir Jerry, I'm going to be not too long, maybe around this time, I'll be biking to the Elmo Combo, doing like a sound check, watching the opening act, Rob Bruce, and getting ready to grab that mic at 8 p.m. to deliver like a 90-minute presentation that I've been working on, like 2 days from now. So I want to hear from you. I want to hear that beautiful, authentic British accent of yours. What advice can you give me so I don't, I'm not a deer in the headlights and I'm staring at the crowd and I can't remember what to say? Like, what advice would you give me as a veteran performer?
All right. Well, first of all, I know about it because that lovable vagabond Jerry Levitan told me about. He's going. Not,
oh my God.
Not that will mean that anyone will go because of that.
Will you be going?
Well, I will go. I will go in one form or another. Right?
Will I see that hat in the crowd?
I'll bring it. And that will screw you up. No, but so the advice...
Well, it's amazing that Mr. Levitan's going. Like, I'm honored because these are not cheap tickets.
Yeah, I know. The Paul McCartney tickets were less. No, they weren't. They were like 100 times more. They aren't that expensive. And here's the thing. My advice would be just be yourself. Uh-oh. That's it. Well, you're right. That's it.
Good advice.
Pretend that you're doing a podcast, but you'll get some instant audience reaction. I'll make sure that Jerry Levitan laughs when it's appropriate. He shouts out good things.
Okay.
You know.
I'm honored Jerry Levitan's going to be there. I'm starting to hear from certain. Like, at first, my whole shtick, if you will, was I'll be on stage in front of the 6 people who bought a ticket. Like, 'cause I wrote that.
Mike. Can I call you Mike, or do I have to call you Toronto
Mike.
Mike
If I'm calling you
D?
Sir Jerry, you're calling me Toronto Mike. Okay.
Okay, Toronto Mike. Oh, Toronto Mike.
How about
Come on.
Sir Toronto Mike. Okay.
All right.
That was my shtick. I didn't know what to think, but now I'm thinking it might be nice to have a crowd there. So I guess I'm gonna do like a bit of a call to action. If you've been like on the fence, thinking about, oh, do I really want to buy a couple of tickets? I'd say have a great night on the town. Come to the historic El Macombo on Thursday. Come for the Rob Pruce. Rob Pruce is going to put on a great show at 7 p.m. I think he's worth the price of admission. And he's got a drummer. He's added a drummer to his like squad there. And the drummer whose name will come to me, his nickname is Juice. Okay. It'll come to me. It's not Juice Newton, I don't think. But Juice, and he's a drummer for Platinum Blonde.
All right. Well,
Okay.
already you know that the beat will be right.
Right. So anyway, that's I just got that news from Rob today. But Rob's going to be great. The doors open at 6:30. Rob starts at like 7. At 7:55, I have ordered Rob Pruce from Spoons and Honeymoon Suite. If you don't know that name, I've ordered him to play a song that he co-wrote. It's called Romantic Traffic. So when I hear Rob Pruce start Romantic Traffic, that's my call. That's my cue, if you will. I'm going to storm that stage, grab the mic, and I ain't not going to give up that mic for 90 minutes.
I think that's great. And you know, I have been at the Elmo since they renovated it. It's beautiful.
Yeah, now, I got to be clear, too, because I was wrong about this at first, too. There are 2 floors to the Elmo. There's the ground floor, which they call the Starlight Room, and then there's the room you're probably thinking of, a shape like an L, the upstairs room where, like, the Rolling Stones would have played, I would think, the L-shaped room. So we're in the Starlight Room. Not that you go to the wrong room and say, where the hell's Rob Pruce? But the Starlight Room, the main room, it's a great room. I visited it last week. I saw my name on the marquee.
That's cool.
Big moment. Took some video, took some pictures. So like it's all like starting to hit home that this is actually happening. I'm gonna bike over, just sort of like soak it in, do my best, and I do have a like a top secret surprise grand finale that I won't be letting you in on, Sir Jerry.
Wow. Well, okay. This
It is you.
Well, what a surprise. But you know, actually there are 3 levels. There's a basement too, where they actually have in a lucite container Keith Richards soiled undergarments. So I urge everyone who goes to your show before you come on or after you come on to go down there and take a peek.
Take a peek, but hold your nose. I don't think
Yes.
they've cleaned it. Okay, good. That's a good tip.
But
there,
all
too.
jokes aside,
so yeah, so be
it's a great
myself.
thing.
You're
Yes,
you're
yes.
saying just be yourself. Because although I haven't done anything like that, I do like you've been to. Well, your friend's been to. Very complicated here. I'm getting the Ed the Sock flashbacks now, but your buddy Jerry Levitan has been to the Palmas Kitchen TMLX
Yes.
events, which is a very different vibe because I got a co-host and people like your buddy would come on the mic and chat it up. But we go 3 hours unedited.
With a good audience, with quite a number of people, I'm
Free
told.
event though. We'll see how many. We'll see who's there. I'm excited to find out. Like it's all part of the experience, and I am excited about it. And I do, as I speak to you now, Sir Jerry, I could never lie to you. You may have lied to me a couple of times accidentally earlier. I could never lie to you. My intent is to never do this again.
Never do what again? Have me on?
Oh, that's for sure. I'll have your buddy on, but I can't do this twice. So I can't do it twice. Okay.
You'll never be the same.
I think I'd want to. No, I would never do this headlining at the El Macombo thing again. Like, I don't
Well,
think.
what if it goes great, which it will? And what if you get a buzz? You see, this is the thing.
Yeah.
And you know it from the Palma pasta
TMLX events.
There's a buzz when you have a live audience, right?
Well, you would know.
I certainly do.
Okay, well, I see. That's it. You do feed off it, but this time I don't. It's just me, right? So I'm going to do my thing. I've crafted something. It fell out of my head on bike rides. It fell out pretty fully formed. So I'm just going to I still have a couple of days here, Sir Jerry, but I've been kind of memorizing it sort of deal. Like, not that I'm going to be like, I'm going to go up there and I know the beats and the hits, and I think I'll just go up for 90 minutes. But people like humble Howard Glassman and people who have done a lot of stand-up tell me that's a very long time. Like, I don't have I'm too naive to know how ridiculous some of this is, where apparently 90 minutes is a long time. But I am going to go 90 minutes.
But you're not going to do stand-up, right?
I'm not calling it stand-up because I'm not
Right?
going to do like Jerry Seinfeld.
Yeah,
where,
that's a different thing.
Right.
That's a different
You're right,
thing.
'cause you
think
yes.
Palma,
Right.
but in a different kind of, I'm going to say cooler ambiance, but it is cooler, right?
Right.
It's the El Macombo.
That's why it's a ticketed event.
Yes.
It's too cool for the TMU, without
Yes,
a doubt
yeah.
here. Okay. All right. So excited that your buddy Jerry's going to be there. I kind of had a clue, I think, and then I wasn't sure. I know that's one thing. I don't have any insight into the ticketing, so I don't really know exactly how many tickets have been sold. But this is all happening Thursday. If you're on the fence, do it. There's a link. If you go to torontomike.com, there's a link at the top that says Elmo gig. Buy a couple of tickets. Go have a good time in Toronto. Come on. This is a Kensington Market, for goodness sakes. Where are we? College and Spadina. Where the hell are we?
Yeah, that's virtually Kensington Market. It's Chinatown.
It's like the corner of that's Kensington Market.
Yeah.
And come on out. Cool part of the city. See what's going to happen. You don't have FOMO. I wouldn't want fear of missing out on this one. So,
And the Toronto Western Hospital is not that far away.
and if you forget Sir Jerry, if you need surgery. So, all right. So, Sir Jerry, good luck to you. So
Thank you.
My good luck is 2 days from now. Your good luck is June 14. That's several. I guess the pandemic is to blame for like 7 years off of live events.
Yes, and I was doing other things. I was traveling and doing meditation for 6 years and doing various other activities.
Well, where did you go? Like anywhere exotic and interesting?
You name it, I went there.
Oh,
I traveled the world.
okay. Paris.
I was in Paris.
Okay. I'm going to say name places
And not Paris, Ontario.
Have you been to Paris, Ontario?
No.
Okay. Well, we could get you a show there. I think.
I think that's a safe bet.
I went to a wedding in Paris, Ontario once.
Wow.
Yeah. It's wow. It's yeah. I'm trying to. Yeah. Okay. So they're no longer together.
Well, you know these French people are.
I have a question. Dad. Well,
Dad?
I get it now. But do you think like if you go to a great wedding and you're like that was a great wedding, and then eventually that couple breaks up, okay?
Yes.
Does that like retroactively make the wedding not as great, or is it, you know what I mean? Like it's like that was what a great day, but that love didn't last or whatever, and they went their separate ways at some point.
I think Socrates posed that question to Glaucon and the other fellows, and it's recited in Plato's Republic. If someone gets divorced, Socrates, does that marriage cease to exist? He went on for about 14 pages, right? So no one could understand what he was saying. Also, it was Greek. So, I don't know.
It's all Greek to me.
Yeah. Well, I know that Jerry Levitan was married a few times.
So I hear.
Yes.
Is he currently married?
He is currently married in a wonderful marriage. It's working out great.
I was going to ask, how's that one going? Is that going to stick?
Oh my God, that was a real laugh. It's going very well, and it's been going for quite a long time.
I know you have to go. Time traveling and stuff. I know you have to go, but could you tag in your buddy Jerry Levitan? Just maybe I have a few minutes with Jerry Levitan before I close this.
Sure. Why don't you? Will you do this?
Unless Sir Jerry has more he wants to get off his chest and share. Like I'm not trying to get rid of Sir Jerry.
Off my chest, no. Off my belly, maybe. But no, I'll do it. But this is how we can do it. I want you to click your heels and say, I want to go home. I want to go home. And he'll appear.
Okay, I've seen this
3
movie.
times.
Okay. I want to go home. I want to go home. I want to go home.
Yeah, what do you want?
Hey, Jerry.
Yeah, what's happening?
Your buddy Sir Jerry was just here.
Oh, my God.
You missed him again.
Yeah, well, he's everywhere.
Shout out to the Pokeroo. And I'm trying to float the rumor that Steve Paikin played Pokeroo.
Wow, that's a good rumor. That's a good
I'm trying to get that one going. Maybe Retro Ontario can help me out.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Brian Linehan.
Yeah.
Why do you have that photo of Brian Linehan there?
So that frame with the photo inside is a gift from a rock band I like called The Watchmen. And they wanted me to know that Brian Linehan would have been proud of me because, like Brian Linehan, I always do my homework, okay? I do my homework. I'm always very prepared for my guests. Sometimes I know more about my guests' origin story than they do. For example, your buddy Sir Jerry.
Right.
He couldn't remember if he had a birthday. He couldn't remember.
Yeah, well, there was an unfortunate accident at a brewery. That
Was it
affected
Great
his-
Lakes?
No, it was a different one. And it affected his... but this is the truth, I was friends with Brian Linehan, and I was in a play at the no longer Colonnade Theater in the Colonnade on Bloor a gazillion years ago, an Arthur Miller play called Incident in Vichy, and I was a kid. So in that play, they needed a kid, and he was one of the actors.
They said, give us the kid who interviewed John Lennon.
It was before I met John. I was like 12, 13. Yeah. But I then became friends with him up to his death. He was quite an interesting guy.
Love to hear it. Like I only met him once. I met him one time, and it was you're running meeting. It's funny because whatever. I'm not
at
gonna,
the Elma Combo.
At the Elma Combo. Can I share a story I told your buddy Sir Jerry?
Totally.
Before we started recording, just real quick here.
Totally.
So when I was a teenager for 18 months, I worked at the Runnymede and Bloor McDonald's, which is no more. It's gone. But there was a McDonald's at Runnymede and Bloor. Okay. The reason I'm bringing this story up now is because I realized there's a parkette at Runnymede and Bloor. That's where I met Brian Linehan. Like it was that right at that intersection. He was walking, and I met Brian Linehan. Reminds me of when I was on a subway. It was Runnymede Station. It was Runnymede Station, Sir Jerry. No, you're not Sir Jerry. That's another guy. Jerry Levitan. It was Runnymede Station where I bumped into Ziggy Lawrence.
Ziggy?
Do you remember Ziggy from City TV? Ziggy?
Oh, yes.
Okay,
yes.
She had the pink house, and she did Mush music and all this. Okay, but and then she said, and we had a crush on Ziggy Lawrence. Me and my buddy were there, and she did this flirty wave and said, "Hi, boys," or something like that. And then years later, when I had her over here to do Toronto Mike, I told her that story, and for the photo, she gave me a big kiss on the cheek.
Wow.
Jimmy. My goodness, great. But okay, so Brian Linehan was the same Runnymede and Bloor where I worked at McDonald's, but I told you about the responsibilities I had as one of the few teens there that could be relied on by management. They said to me, my job was to get Ronald McDonald from the Windermere. This was the Ukrainian festival, and they closed down Bloor Street, and it was a big street festival on this one weekend, and Ronald McDonald made an appearance at the stage at like Windermere and Bloor, and I had to get him to and fro from the restaurant McDonald's to the stage to perform for the kids and then get him back. So I'm just chaperoning Ronald McDonald, and then we're walking back, and then we open the door behind the back of McDonald's. So we're in private. We're not in the public part of McDonald's. And then the door closes, and then Ronald McDonald looks at me and goes, "Is my ride here yet, kid?" Like he completely broke character, and it completely shattered me. And I'm not trying to connect any dots, but the reason I shared that with your buddy Sir Jerry is because there was a moment like that outside when I was talking to Sir Jerry, and he slipped for a moment. That's all I'm going to say. And it reminded me of
when Krusty the clown, right?
Right.
On The Simpsons.
Smoking on the cigarette. Okay. Love me some Krusty. Okay, so very interesting that the Brian Linehan thing, because I kind of admired his interview style. Did you see the Chevy Chase documentary? I'm Chevy Chase.
No, I want to, but he seems like quite the troubled guy.
Yep. And there's a scene, you got to see this doc. It was like CNN made it or something, but I saw it. And in this doc, there's a scene where he's tearing Brian Linehan a new one.
Wow.
Chevy Chase. He was just a dick. Like, but he's an asshole, but it's kind of interesting to kind of the fact, like, to see what made him an asshole. Like, why is he an asshole? Like, I found the whole doc kind of interesting. But there is that scene where you can see him tearing Brian Linehan a new one.
I mean, the thing about Brian Linehan and his interviews, they were never caustic. He wasn't trying to score points. They were very well researched, and he just adored movies and celebrity. So he made people feel comfortable, which is why they always said, "How did you know that
Yeah, because there was no Wikipedia back then, right, Jerry?
Exactly. So I guess when someone would turn on him, like, that's a nasty person.
It just seemed like, it would be like if I kicked Ronald McDonald in the shins or something. Like, screw you, buddy. Okay. I'm going to remind the listeners that you have made 2 previous appearances on Toronto Mike, and I'm not counting your visits to Palma's Kitchen for TMLX events, because it's always amazing to see you there. You've been to at least 2.
Yeah, well, I mean, here's my attitude. Like, anybody who does anything that's positive, creative, like, we should support it, right? You might not like Sir Jerry music or whatever, or somebody else, whatever, or anybody who's just trying to make an impact for the good of everybody. It's something to support, and you're great. You have like the vast number of interesting people you have had on that celebrate not just Toronto, but particularly Toronto, and people who've been part of the scene is just great, and we should celebrate that as opposed to listening to CNN
or Joe Rogan or whatever.
Yeah.
Hey, but enough of you mentioned those people I celebrate. Enough about Peter Gross. Okay, he will be with you at the Elma Combo on Thursday. So he bought a ticket.
Okay.
Peter Gross, and he then reached out and said he doesn't have a license. He's got a whole thing going on with insurance for driving, and he's got like a lawsuit going on. I don't know if you know any lawyers. Okay.
Unfortunately, I know a lot.
Okay. Well, he's got this whole legal thing where he can't get insurance or whatever. But so he yesterday he called me up and he says, "Is there a friend of Toronto Mike? Is there an FOTM that can drive me and back to the Elmo? I'll help pay for parking." He's going on the sales pay. And I did put out a little call. There's a WhatsApp group for FOTMs. You should be in there, Jerry.
Okay.
And somebody did say, "Hey, I will pick up Peter Gross and bring him to the Elmo." So we got a ride for Peter Gross.
Well, there you go. Saved
That's
him
the
doing
community.
saved him doing a GoFundMe for his Uber.
Right. Well, that's going to be pricey. I'm going to shout out the 2 episodes you're on, and then I'm going to ask you about a specific moment for your friend. So you're so close with Sir Jerry, you know a lot about his stuff, I feel like. So I'm going to ask you something. Okay.
Sure.
May 2024, that's when you, Jerry Levitan, made your Toronto Mike debut.
Okay.
At the time, here's what I wrote. In this 1,493rd episode of Toronto Mike, Mike chats with I called you Sir Jerry Levitan. I don't know. I think I was just trying to like play both sides of the fence there.
Right.
The kid who interviewed John Lennon about. So I called you the kid who interviewed John Lennon about interviewing John Lennon. I like that sentence I wrote. His Oscar nomination, his Emmy win, and his lives as a lawyer and Sir Jerry. So I'm not going to comment on any of that. Oh, my son had a sleepover. My son's actually 12. So this story I don't know if he wants me to tell the story, but I'm going to tell it anyway because I'm going to explain it. But he had a sleepover where he wasn't home, and while he was at this other house, he lost a tooth. And I think my 12-year-old is well aware of what's going on with the tooth fairy. I think so. But I think he likes what happens there, okay? Because he benefits. And he told me he goes off. There's a gas station nearby where he goes in and gets like a chocolate bar and a drink or whatever. Like I think he's really into that aspect of the tooth fairy. So he's whatever. I won't say too much in case a kid's listening in a car or something like that. Their dad's listening. Okay, so don't worry. I'm not going to say anything crazy. But I am going to say that I think he was telling the mom or whatever at this house he was at about his tooth coming out, and he might have talked about the tooth fairy, and then the mom said, "Oh, this house doesn't believe in the tooth fairy,"
brother.
And then he said, like, I don't know, it's fine. And then so he brought the tooth home, but I just think that's an interesting thing. Like if you ever lost a tooth at a sleepover somewhere, and then it's like, oh, that doesn't work here. You know what I mean? Like I'm trying to dance around this whole thing, but it's like, but the belief in this, and it's just, and gladly he's 12, but if it were my youngest, I feel like that could be troublesome because I think the youngest is very into the tooth fairy.
Well, you hear like, hey, I've got kids and grandkids, and I remember stories of them finding out things about whether it's Santa Claus or whatever.
Yeah,
and for some kids, it's a little traumatic when somebody. Sure. Says, hey, Santa Claus is a Coca-Cola picture.
Right. A invention of Coca-Cola.
Yeah. But people who do that particularly subject not their kids,
right,
but other kids to that kind of crap, they're no fun.
Yeah, it's just something like sort of like me and Sir Jerry. Sometimes you got to try to roll with it. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Just, roll with it for a bit. It's not going to kill you.
There you go.
You can talk to the guy in the top hat for a bit. He's got the English accent.
Totally.
Who wasn't born at any time, and then you hear in a recording he was born in 1954.
Imagine what goes on in our house.
How did you feel listening outside the door there when you heard that song was being played and it was going to reveal a birth year for Sir Jerry?
Well, it excited me because, the problem with short-term memory loss is that, sorry, what was
You don't remember.
What was the question? And who are you?
So May 2024 is when we met for the first time. And remind me again, who's the gentleman who connected us? He's a friend of yours.
Jeff Rogers.
Oh, I like, you know what? I bumped into him at a screening of a documentary about Nash the Slash. Did you
Right.
ever meet Nash the Slash?
No.
And Jeff Rogers, he's just kind of like a straw stirring the drink,
He, hey, look, he had quite a career as being a manager of cool rock bands and
Like Rusty.
there you go. Crash Test Dummies and stuff like that. So he knows everybody and knew everybody in the business, and the business has taken on a huge transformation now, right? It's like everything, whether it's law or medicine or anything, what you thought you knew or the people you knew,
Right.
it doesn't exist anymore. But he knows everybody and is friends with everybody, and he's a great connector of people.
Yeah, and I know he did work with Erica M reached out to me after he was on to say, "Oh, you had my dear friend Jeff Rogers on." Rob Pruce was buddies of everybody knows Jeff Rogers, and I met him. He introduced me to Cam Hawkins from FM. This is a band that Nash the Slash was in, and Cam's going to come over and talk about FM.
Well, he has a big role with Sir Jerry because I produced the record with my friend Ruben, formerly of Glue Leg and now of Star Beast. But I did the record, and I didn't know him. And somebody gave him my CD. The first one was Bees, Butterflies, and Bugs. And at that point, he was helping the Drake. The Drake was in its early infancy. And he was helping... is that in my mind, or is it in the ether?
I actually didn't play it because it's not very Sir Jerry. Like Sir Jerry...
It was the first song I did, right? Right.
It almost could be credited to just Jerry Levitan.
Yeah, and I'm not doing the Sir Jerry voice.
Right, that's why I didn't play it, because it would. I don't want to confuse everybody.
Yeah. So Jeff heard that, and at that time he was helping the Drake with their programming, and he calls me up and he says, "Hey, I've got your CD. Let's have coffee or whatever." And went to the Drake, and he said, "So we were thinking of doing like family events during the day on the weekend. So do you want to put on a show?" And I said, I don't have a band, because it was just me and Ruben and a drummer doing those songs on the first album. And he says, "So get a band and put on a show." So I mentioned it to Ruben, and I said, I was too embarrassed to say to him because he's quite the musician. I said, "Would you want to be in this band?" He says, "Yeah, sure." So that's what we did. It was because of Jeff.
And then you became friends?
Yeah.
And then he told me, he goes, I was just at this guy's house. He's fascinating. You should talk to him. And he's in your backyard. I'm like, literally? I go, and he's like, oh, there he is with the groundhog. I've been here 13 years. Never saw a groundhog till this spring. And now there's a groundhog who's living in my backyard. So I don't know if you see groundhogs.
Well, it may be that a weird thing has happened since spring. All these holes have emerged on our front lawn. So I don't know if it's a squirrel or what. It must be groundhogs.
It could be groundhogs. Okay, because I'm used to typically I've got my skunks back there, and of course raccoons and squirrels, of course. But in rabbit, there's a rabbit that we call Hoppy, and my youngest, calls it Hoppy. But I don't know if it's always the same rabbit. But every rabbit in that backyard is called Hoppy. But
there's also apparently an insurance salesman on 7th Avenue.
Right. Okay, yeah. Well, I have that sound effect in the board, but I'm not playing it for that one. Okay, get it. Raise the bar there. Okay. So, by the way, I like this jam too, and shout out to Jeff Rogers who connected us. But one more time, you came back. You came back for an episode 1628 in February 2025. So that's about a little over a year ago. Mike chats with, again, I call you Sir Jerry Levitan. I'm trying to split, the difference there. Okay, about his Oscars. We talked more about you going to the Oscars. We talked about, you ran. What did you run for? MPP? What did you run for?
Yeah, for the Liberal Party of Ontario in the Stephen Del Duca days. Yeah. I was asked
He's been over here
to run, and that was it was a great experience. I had a great team, and who knew what was going to happen with the present premier? But it was a blowout.
So is that this riding that you ran in, or no, a different one?
No, I ran in Davenport. Okay. So, I originally was going to run in Spadina, Fort York, but the powers, and I had lived there. I lived on a street called Soho Street for many, many years, and I had a strong connection with that. But the powers that be thought it would be best if I ran in Davenport against Merritt Stiles. And the thinking was that if Doug Ford was going to tank, the Liberals would come on strong, and the NDP would tank with the Tories, but that didn't play out.
In this riding that we both live in, the MPP is Lee Fairclough.
I know her well. We ran together in 22, I think it was. She's great.
She's running for leadership of the Liberal Party of Ontario.
Yeah. If you look at her background, it's incredible. She's been in the healthcare industry and in executive positions with hospitals and so on and so forth. She was an amazing athlete.
Rugby?
Rugby, and I think something else. But she is the kindest, most empathetic person you could meet. She really is. Hey, I have very little to do with the Liberal Party now. They asked me to run again, and I didn't, and whatever. But
you're too busy with Sir Jerry.
Yeah, but it takes a lot to do it, right? And if there isn't a great prospect, and I didn't think there was a great prospect last time in the Bonnie Crombie days, then what are you doing? But but she, I know her well because we ran together, and she's just a great human being. And the way I look at it is, you want people who are good people. Forget their political stripe, but if the person has a basic human decency, look around the world now, particularly in the United States, like, where are the decent people, right?
Well, they're in this basement, Jerry.
I'll drink to that.
Well, if you think about it, so Doug Ford's had 3 majorities, okay? So there's a, what time is it? There's a clock on that here. And I believe, in my opinion, because we're years away from the next election, because he just won another majority, but I believe the next leader of the Liberal Party is going to be the next Premier of Ontario.
I think you're right.
So I feel like you mentioned Del Duca, who, by the way, brought his own. Well, I don't know. He did. His handler brought him his own chair when he came on Toronto Mike. It was during COVID times, but still, I thought that was quite interesting.
Well, I got to say, when I was a candidate, there was some big event where they were taking pictures of Stephen with candidates. And when it was my turn, so there was a whole backdrop, and professional photographers. So when it was my turn, and you shake his hand before the picture was taken, I said, "Man, this is like the Oscars again." To which he said, "I don't think so," and he was right.
So, and then Bonnie Crombie, who went to my high school, I believe was buds with Cynthia Dale. Just going to drop names here.
Cynthia Dale, okay.
Went to my high school as well, because they're both older than me. You know that, Jerry. Come on, you know that. Come on. But, with that happened, and then I believe it'll be interesting to see who the next leader of the party is, because that could very well be the next premier of this province.
Well, for all you know, Doug Ford is going to resign before the next election. He's been at it for a while, right. And if he smells things aren't going to look great, Yeah,
like Chrétien style. Like most of them do that. I was surprised Harper didn't do that last time in 2015. But that's a move where okay, we're up for a defeat. You step down, someone else goes in and takes the hit. Mulrooney, right? Kim Campbell could take the hit.
Yeah, but those were the days where you had, and particularly in Canada, the history of the Liberal Party is a history of of leaders wanting to make sure that younger people carry on. So you go back to people like even Mackenzie King, who won 4 times, groomed Louis Saint Laurent. Louis Saint Laurent groomed Lester Pearson, who had won the Nobel Peace Prize. He was the foreign minister of Canada at the time for the Suez Crisis.
Yes.
Lester Pearson felt that it was important that a Quebecer run the next time, and groomed Pierre Trudeau. Pierre Trudeau did the same thing, right? But these days, these power hungry, the intoxication of power is so great that the idea of, there's a better cause than just me winning the next election. I want to make sure my party continues. It just doesn't exist anymore.
Except Trudeau Jr., we'll call him, Justin Trudeau. Justin Trudeau seemed to have a great sense of when it was time to step down and basically save the party. And look what happened with Carney there. Correct. And well, that's true. And, and who was his dad? Who was his dad? Right. And
Yeah,
JT,
right.
of course, younger than Mark Carney.
Yeah. There are other things. I mean, the die was cast, right? And there were so many people in his party trying to push him out. But if you look at, but it's true. His father was Pierre, and I knew Justin a little bit, and we actually talked about at the film festival when he was there. He was still prime minister. We briefly talked about that and the pressure on him. But yeah, no, it's.
Yeah, no, good points. I love talking politics because that was the end of the description here, which is that we talked about at that time there was a liberal leaders. So the more things change, the more they stay the same. So there was a liberal leadership race at the time we were talking about. I don't know I think that was provincial, but who knows now. And we talked more about the Beatles. We talked about John Donaby, who passed away.
Right.
And at that time and more. And it was good to have you back here. And here you are. But I did one thing before we say goodbye. Now that I've got Jerry Levitan here, and because you know so much about Sir Jerry's life and times, what do you remember about I almost want to call it a takeover, but it was Sir Jerry on YTV. Like, what do you remember? Give me what you remember about that.
Sure. Well, in the first number of years of Sir Jerry, it started to take off quite dramatically in terms of shows and all of that. So my concept was not just to put on shows. My original concept was just to make music, but to get a TV show called Sir Jerry's World, and I made self-produced a pilot and a trailer, and was working on that. And YTV contacted me, and I knew the head. I forget what her name was. Melanie York. May she rest in peace. So I went to high school with her, even before high school, I think. She was a couple of years older than me, but she was the head of something at YTV, and she just loved the Sir Jerry concept and wanted to do something with it. And we started talking about it, and she said, why don't you start by coming on this thing? And we did, and it was a fun thing. I was told at the time that they got one of the bigger responses they ever had on The Zone, which was the show.
Sure.
And then she got dramatically ill and died. And that ended the YTV thing.
Was there ever a moment where, because, that's terribly sad that this person got sick and passed away. Terribly sad. But did you ever have a moment where, just my luck?
Hey, I've had a lot of experiences. Again, I'll say it. I was married a few times. Right?
Yeah, I heard.
Right. So if you went down that rabbit hole, which I have in the past, I don't know if anyone else here has been through that. But if you go through that rabbit hole, it's like, oh, brother,
Tell us more. No, I'm going to play a bit. I mean, it's long, so I'm not going to play it all.
Before we go, people. Log on to sir-jerry.com is my website. It was made a gazillion years ago, but is still unbelievably great. Click everywhere. My music is there, and my music is on Spotify.
Well, Sir Jerry's stuff
everywhere.
is there. I don't know about you trying to take credit for Sir Jerry's good work.
I'm not, but he said I could have the lasagna.
Well, here, look, I'm going to play a bit of this, and then just to give people a taste.
Rock on. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to The Zone. Carlos here, hanging out with you all day long on this, the second last day of Music Week. I have with me my guest, Sir Jerry, and his crew. They're all here just hanging out. Sir Jerry, so good to see you.
Carlos, it's so exciting to be here on YTV. Children, hello. You see, Melman,
Yes, Sir Jerry.
through that lens, thousands and thousands of children are watching us on television.
Oh, scrum-delicious.
Here's scooped up Wendy's twinkle twins. Beautiful faces of beautiful children politely sitting are looking at you right now.
Oh, this is ridiculous. I've heard of this boob tube. You brought disgrace to our family, Sir Jerry.
But Uncle Alfie, actually, back home, they're watching you right now, dressed so beautifully in your suit and your hat tilted so nicely.
Yes, I am put together quite well, if I do say so myself.
Yeah, you look great.
Yeah.
Really. I like this.
Hey,
Hat.
Ethel, how are you? Be home soon.
Wow. So awkward a little bit. But well, anyways, Sir Jerry, I mean, thank you everybody for coming by.
That's how I
So this is
felt,
your
by the way.
family
Okay.
then, or-
So I
We do many things
Well,
together.
I think it's,
We
first of all,
sing, we
very
dance,
cool
and
how
we
much
entertain
like
children
time and
their
space they
parents
gave you.
and friends.
Like I was thinking, wow, they're like
Okay,
they're
is
letting
there
you
somewhere
cook.
that our
Yeah, I
audience
did
can
2
go so
songs.
they can get some more of
Did
Sir
2 songs
Jerry's
on it too.
family?
But you're bringing me down memory lane. So when there was an impetus to do a Sir Jerry show, and in fact there was a big production distribution company that did children's stuff that wanted to do it, and it ultimately fell down the wayside because they wanted rights to all my music and all the rest of it, so it didn't go forward with it. But I contacted Yoko Ono, who I was in touch with and have been all these years, and asked if I got a Sir Jerry TV show, would she agree? I had an idea to have a Yoko Ono cartoon on every episode, and she said, great. And so we recorded, I'll send it to you. We took one of her, she has all these prose sort of poems and just positive sayings and things like that. So I took one called Tuna Fish Sandwich Piece, and I got, oh God, what's the guy's name? He died, but he was a really cool guy. Anyways, he did the voiceover, and my daughter, Rebecca, who's a great illustrator, did the animation. And it was great. I'll send you the trailer. And, that was like, who on earth has a Yoko Ono cartoon on every children's show?
Wow. Okay. Speaking of the Beatles cartoon we talked. Well, sorry, that was Sir Jerry I was talking to. You might have missed it here. Okay. So do we? And again, I know if you have to be delicate and sensitive, I respect that. But do we know how Yoko's doing these days?
She's in her 90s, early 90s, and that's all you need really to know, right?
Also, I'm not stupid. Like it's been a while since we had like a public, from Yoko. So
her faculties are still great, but she has been very happy for the last few years to let Sean run with everything, and he does it in a great way.
And are you familiar at all with this? Steven Soderbergh crafted John Lennon, The Last Interview.
Coincidence that you mentioned that because a good
It's
friend.
not a coincidence. I'm bringing it up to you because you interviewed John Lennon.
Yeah. Okay. But here's the coincidence that a good friend of mine, Jeff Sackman, who's in the film business, is right now in Greece on a honeymoon, and he emailed me to say, and he was just before that at Cannes and saw the film at Cannes and said, do you know about this? I'll get you a private screening type of thing. So I didn't know about it, but I'm really looking forward to it.
Well, when you see it for your next visit, you can tell us what you thought of that. But
Totally.
I got to say, I guess I'm going to see you Thursday night,
Yeah.
which tickles me pink. I've never been so damn pink. I'm telling you, like, I'm so excited, like that you whipped out a credit card, you're making this happen, you're going to be there, you're going to be at the Elmo. Like, that means a lot to me. I hope there are others there,
Yeah,
but
other
I'd be
people
happy if
should
it's
do
just
it
you
too.
and Peter Gross.
Other people should do it. Like, it'll be a cool thing.
Ralph Benmergui bought a ticket.
Okay.
He's got to come in from Hamilton.
All right. There you go.
So that's 3 of you. Okay, I'm counting now. That's
I'll
3 of
drive
you.
anybody. I'll drive you there. I'll drive you back. I'll drive you for a week. I'll do your shopping.
Drive you there as Sir Jerry, though. We got to
Okay.
hear the British accent. Okay. And your event is June 14 at noon at the Drake Hotel.
Yeah, Sunday, June 14th.
Ages 1 to 100, which means at the end of her life, Hazel McCallion would have been turned away at the door. Get out of here, Hazel.
Yeah, I interviewed Hazel. No, I didn't.
I was offered an interview. I took a pass at it. I produced the Humble and Fred show, and I gave it to them.
Right.
I don't know. I don't know. It was a phoner with like a 100-year-old lady. In hindsight, maybe I should have done it. But
Hey.
anyway, I didn't do it. So Hazel
Next time I'll come on as Hazel McCallion.
or Hazel May.
All right.
So are you bringing anybody with you on Thursday? Like, are you going to bring a +1 to the Elma combo?
You know what? Let me get in touch with Jeff not Jeff Sackman, Jeff Rogers.
Oh, yeah. Well, I would be amazing because tell Jeff Rogers his friend Rob Bruce is going to be there as well.
Yeah, no, I will definitely get in touch with him because it's always fun hanging with him. And the last time I went to something with Jeff was to the Elma Combo when it reopened with the new
Weckerly
owners.
era. Yeah, because Weckerly owned it. He put in all that money.
Yeah, and then the new people, I was at that thing.
Okay. Well, I can't wait to see you Thursday.
And I've been the lawyer for the Elma Combo, not for the present owners, but for Weckerly, before Weckerly, and before that person for a gazillion years.
You never know who you're talking to on Toronto Mike. Amazing.
Like, who cares about what I just said?
I do. I don't know. I find that interesting. I had a previous owner of the Elma Combo on the program, and his name, I'm trying to jog my Rolodex in my head to
Was
come
he
up
the
with
guy who Mother Teresa was? Before there was a guy who owned Cadillac Lounge.
Yes, that's him.
Yeah, good guy.
He came on with Banjo Dunk, and now I'm Banjo Duncan from that. He also owned Graffitis, and yes, this is the right guy.
Yeah, and he's in Prince Edward County now.
Yes.
3 hands up.
And we all know who I'm talking about. Okay. Well, I really love this chat with you and your buddy, Sir Jerry. I already took a photo of Sir Jerry by the Toronto tree because it's in full bloom. Did I mention that?
You did, and wouldn't it be crazy if when we leave now, it's dead? God forbid, right? What would that say about the universe?
I'll be calling Professor Pricklethorn.
Yeah, it'll be like Thanos. We have to get some Infinity Stones.
And that brings us to the end of our 1,000 and 1,901st show, 1901. Go to torontomike.com for all your Toronto Mike needs and buy an Elmo ticket or two. It just says Elmo Gig at the top. Click it. Much love to all who made this possible. Again, that's Great Lakes Brewery. They sell GLB at the Elmo. Palma Pasta. Don't get that lasagna to Sir Jerry. He left without it, so bring it to him, okay?
Yeah.
Toronto Maple Leafs Baseball. Get to Christie Pitts this summer. Nick Ieni's, recyclemyelectronics.ca, and of course, Ridley Funeral Home. See you tomorrow with Stu Stone.